Iran just put Donald Trump on an official hit list. Their state TV is literally saying this time the bullet won't miss. You don't have to like Trump to understand what that means. That is a foreign regime openly talking about finishing the job of our president. And our media, the news media here in the United States, are completely downplaying this. They are not showing it. They are completely avoiding everything. Everything is about Minnesota, Minnesota, Minnesota. Do you think this was just propaganda or an actual threat that demands a response? If Donald Trump had said this about Iran, their leader, the Ayatollah Khomeini, what do you think the media's reaction would look like? What's the bare minimum response that you expect from the United States government here? Welcome back. I'm filming this on January 15th, and while the political circus is doing its usual thing, Iran just crossed a line that every American should take seriously. Iranian state TV, which is the regime's mouthpiece, not some random blogger, not some YouTuber, not somebody filming TikTok videos. They just pushed out a message with Trump's photo from the Butler rally. And this time the bullet will not miss. That's what they're doing here. Let's break this down. Here is the article right here. And you see the image here. This is from the cover of from the New York Post. Iran issues sickening message against Trump. This time it will not miss. And this is written in, I don't know, Peruvian or whatever, the Persian, I believe is what it is. Down with the USA. Picture of Donald Trump. These guys are off their freaking rocker to be openly fantasizing about taking out our current president. You do not have to love Trump to understand how serious that this is. This isn't Twitter drama. This is a state messaging from a government that funds terrorism and actually has the blood of Americans on its hands. Today, I'm going to break down 3 things. What Iran actually said, what a real national security response looks like, and how our brave media, the same people who call Trump a danger to democracy, are suddenly very quiet about an actual threat against his life. Let's jump right into this. I've got the article here from the New York Post. Iran issued this sickening threat against Donald Trump on Wednesday, broadcasting the picture of the commander-in-chief during the 2024 Butler rally. We all know what happened in the Butler rally, right? We all know. Thomas Crooks. It marks Tehran's most direct threat yet against Donald Trump and his repeated threats that the U.S. will strike the country. Well, yesterday, the United States evacuated troops from the Middle East as Trump weighs in on Iran strikes. And this is a very important article from Axios. It is laying out how Donald Trump, the Department of War, Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, are getting American assets out of the way. We talked about this yesterday. And this is huge because this sends a real message. When they're flying these planes out full of Americans, they don't want them involved with what's going to come next. And this is, now, here's something else that just happened overnight. An Iranian vessel, here's something else that happened last night. An Iranian vessel used to transport weapons to Russia was sinking in the Caspian Sea. From October 2024 to December 25, the cargo ship Rona, does that sound familiar? That's a great name for a ship that's sinking. And I can't even make out the names of these places. According to CNN, this route serves as the main channel for arms deliveries from Iran to Russia. A distress signal was received by Turkmenistan's coastal services, kind of like our Coast Guard. All 14 people on board were rescued. They are citizens of Iran and India, which tells me Iran and India are in cahoots, okay? That's what it tells me. Somebody said that this isn't the Rona. Well, that's the name of the ship right there. That's the Rona. Now, I don't know what this means to you all, but it's a very oddly timed coincidence that a ship from Iran to Russia carrying weapons, potentially, allegedly carrying weapons, would get sank in that area. Here is another article. The Iranian cargo vessel with ties to Russian arms sinks in the Caspian Sea. This kind of supply network that they have been working together between Russia, between Iran, they are all bad actors. And these bad actors are really upset with Donald Trump right now because he just cut off their oil supply. Here's another article. Turkmenistan rescues 14 crew from the distressed Iranian cargo ship. Now, we can't get submarines into the Caspian Sea, but there very well could be aircraft. There could very well have the potential for an airdrop of ordnance, like a torpedo, to sink this ship. I am not saying that that's what's happened, but I do know the United States Navy has this capability. Airdrop torpedoes have been around for 50 years. And if you don't think that they still exist, you're wrong. This has a very high potential for something like this to happen. So, I mean, it makes sense that the United States would get allies out before they go in. The other big thing that is happening in Iran during all of this turmoil is their banking system has collapsed. The inflation, the value of their money is dropping. And part of that is because Donald Trump has now a war powers resolution to take care of unfinished business in Venezuela. The petrodollar. Everybody was trying to get away from trading oil with the dollar. Well, now that the United States is in control of Venezuela and who Venezuela can sell oil to, you are going to see more economic collapse around the world from these people that are not the biggest fans of the United States, that's the nice way to put it. Let me show you this one. Now, after this entire thing kicked off, if you look at Iran right here in the center, they shut down their airspace over Iran for a little over 7 hours. If you notice some of the other really friendly countries, no airspace is open. Libya, parts of Egypt on the western side of Egypt, Sudan, not really any nice places. No airspace open over Yemen, okay? You're starting to see this. You're starting to understand when a large portion of the map does not have planes flying over it and they're flying completely around it. It's not because they're trying to save fuel or they want to use more fuel. It's because of the potential threat to the passengers, to the pilots, to the planes of what could go down there. But Donald Trump, by them making an idle threat against Donald Trump, using the image of him in Butler, Pennsylvania, this changes the dynamic of everything in the Middle East. I do not want boots on the ground in Iran. That is not something that I ever want to see. But a regime change in Iran, if the people there want to actually do it themselves, I'm all for it. Do what you got to do. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to spend any of my tax dollars. At the minimum or at the maximum that I would support is for the United States to help neutralize some of these areas where they have centrifuges spinning up alleged nuclear weapon facilities and capabilities. With that being said, The Ayatollah Khomeini, I believe his days are numbered. He is under a direct threat from his own people. And I believe that his people have been fed up. They want a little bit of what we got. Now, they don't want all the riots in Minnesota, but they would love some freedom that we have here. If you like this kind of content, a little bit of a geopolitical breakdown of what's happening, what it means from somebody that has served in the military. I've never been to Iran, and I probably will never go to Iran because of the hatred that they have for anyone that bleeds the red, white, and blue. Smash the like and subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.